By authority of the governing body of the London Business School, it is my honour to confer the title of Honorary Fellow to Lord Karan Bilimoria, CBE DL FCA. Congratulations, Lord Bilimoria.
Thank you very much, Professor Nero Sivarathan, for those very, very kind words, and coming from one of the most famous world experts in negotiations and head of the PhD program at LBS. I'm deeply honored. Thank you. And thank you very much to Dean Francois Otalio-Magnier. Thank you so much, and congratulations on your 7 years of excellent leadership of our institution. And thank you very much to our chairman, Dr. David Parr. And he is the first chair of London Business School who's an alumnus of London Business School. So I'm so honored and humbled to have been made an honorary fellow. It means a huge amount to me. And look at the serendipity of this. As you heard, I chaired the Cambridge Judge Business School for 5 years, and one of our professors there, Mark Durand, describes the word serendipity as seeing what everyone else sees, but thinking what no one else has thought. I mean, could we have predicted that this graduation ceremony is taking place on the 4th of July on Election Day? Could we have predicted, which we could, that this is the 60th anniversary of the founding of London Business School, an institution that I've known through friends of mine who studied here going back to the 1980s, where I'd go and study with them. And then I formally became an alumnus myself. And I love LBS, and I've seen it expand in front of my eyes from the main campus to the new Marylebone Town Hall, to the Royal College next door. It's just gone on from strength to strength. And you know, the Harvard Business School was founded in 1908. LBS was founded 60 years ago. And here we are consistently as one of the handful of best business schools in the world. And as Chancellor of the University of Birmingham, I spoke at the QS rankings recently at their annual conference. And you know, it makes me so proud. The latest rankings have come out. 3 out of the top 5 universities in the world are British universities. 4 out of the top 10 are British universities. 4 American, 1 Singaporean, 1 Swiss. Our population is 68 million, America's 350 million. They've got 4, we've got 4, not bad. And 15, we're less than 1% of the world's population in this country, and yet 15, including the University of Birmingham, where I'm Chancellor, are in the top 100 in the world. So be proud that you are graduating from a British university. And I want to reinforce what the Dean said in his fantastic speech, and made you, what I do at Birmingham when I'm Chancellor, is to, when you stood up and you thanked your family and your friends. You haven't achieved this on your own. Of course, you worked hard, and you deserve it, but you've done it because of the support of your friends and classmates, and the support of your family and your friends, and the support of your wonderful faculty. So please, let's give them all a round of applause again. And both the chairman and the dean have said this. You came in here as graduates. You're going to leave as graduates. So many congratulations. But here's one thing. You're actually never going to leave. This is like Hotel California. You can check out anytime you want, but you can never leave. Because you are from now onwards joining the 55,000 strong LBS alumni like me, and you will be part of the LBS family forever. Now, if you were becoming an alumnus of an American business school, and I became an alumnus of HBS, sorry to swear, the next day you receive an email asking you for money. We're not so blunt over here, but do give back. Because I know you will all be very successful. But when I say give back, I don't mean just in money. Give back in mentoring, give back in time, come back and lecture. I lecture at least once or twice a year at LBS. I love coming back, and it's a real privilege. I came to the UK from India as a 19-year-old. I went to university at the age of 16. I skipped a couple of years. I graduated at the age of 19. And as you heard, I qualified as a CA with EY here in the city, and I did my law degree at Cambridge. Now, did I know when I was sitting where you're sitting what my career would pan out? And one of the best lectures I've ever attended was when I went to my final lecture at HBS, and Professor Clay Christensen, one of the greatest business professors ever to have existed, who sadly passed away recently, he came and gave us this lecture. And it's a lecture I'll never forget. 6'8", he walked in and he said, "I'm so sorry, this is the first lecture I've given. I've been very sick. I've had cancer. I beat the cancer, then I got stroke. I've recovered from my stroke." He said, "My movements are fine, but it's affected my mind." He said, "When I speak, I sometimes can't find the words I want to say." He said, "If that happens in this lecture, please will you shout out the words? It might save some time." We had to shout out the words many times. And at the end of that lecture, he was in tears and we were in tears. And his message was very simple. He asked us, how many of you have stopped and thought, what is the purpose of your life? I ask you all that question right now. What is the purpose of your life? And linked to that, how will you measure your life? A very individual question, a very individual answer. And he's written a book about it. How do you measure your life? Now, how many of you, of the graduates and graduates, want to start up your own business one day? Can I just see a show of hands, please? Wow, fantastic. Great. You know what? Now, to be an entrepreneur, there's one word that sums up an entrepreneur more than any other word. You need guts. How many of you put up your hands will actually have the guts to go and do it instead of taking up that job at Goldman Sachs or wherever? Yeah? How many of you will drive around in my first company car, Albert, 295 pounds, Citroën de Chevaux, that you need to push start every day, that if you look down, you could see the roads through the holes in the floor of the car that could carry 15 cases of Cobra beer? It takes guts to start up and be an entrepreneur. But more importantly, it takes guts to stick with it when others would give up. And I've nearly lost my business 3 times. I'm going to ask you all a question. No right or wrong answer. Please be honest with yourself and with me. How many of you think you're creative? If you think you're creative, put your hands up. If you think you're not creative, leave your hands down. Can I just see? Up or down? Okay. Thank you. Now, there are many more hands here than normal. Normally, it's about half the hands that go up, half the hands stay down. And I'll tell you why I'm asking you this question. If you go and see my mother, who lives in Dehradun, 88 years old, in her sitting room, there's a cabinet with all the finest china she's collected in her life. Bone china, porcelain, pottery, and in amongst there is an angel, a pottery angel. the ugliest angel you've seen in your life, made by me as a boy. Karan, you are not creative. You are useless at art. They forced me to learn how to play the piano. I passed grade 1. Please stop. Give up. You're tone deaf. Spare us. Not creative. I went through my whole youth being told and believing I was not creative. And it's only when I became an entrepreneur and I started Cobra and I started in business, I realized I'm very, very creative, and it had been suppressed throughout my youth. So anyone who didn't put their hands up, please, we all have the ability to be creative. And one of the most important skills in life is the ability to be creative and innovative, whatever you do, even if you become a civil servant. So be creative and have the guts to be creative. I came up with the idea for Cobra. Most business ideas, by the way, are very simple. I hated fizzy lagers that are bloating and bland and awful. I love ale, and I said, let me create a beer that is the smoothness of an ale, refreshment of a lager combined, that is the best beer to drink with any food, especially curry and Indian food. Brewed smooth for all food. And that's been the secret of our success. So simple business ideas is all about problem, solution, action. And I'm very proud of my product, as you've heard. I don't want to correct Nero, but at Harvard they said, be confident but not arrogant, be ambitious but be humble, be ambitious. Ambitiously, Nero, it's 152 gold medals that we have won, and I'm very proud of that. Whatever you do in life, on the whole, it'll be against all odds. When I started in business, my father was an army officer, couldn't afford any money, senior general. I went to see him and I said, Dad, isn't this great? My own business, entrepreneur, Cobra Beer. What are you doing? All this education? And you're becoming an import-export walla. Get a proper job. Become a banker. Anyway, banking's a good profession, nothing wrong with it. But at the end of it, he was my biggest fan. But they mean well. They don't want you to fail. And the sad thing is, many businesses don't succeed. And it is always against all odds. I'm going to ask you another question. How many of you are international students? Look at this. Just look at this. I'm not allowed to say political things on election day. I would say a lot of very political things. And I would send this photograph to any government. I chair the All-Party Parliamentary Group on International Students, and I'm president of the UK Council of International Student Affairs. When I joined the House of Lords in 2006, 18 years ago, I was the third youngest peer in the House of Lords. I'm still one of the younger peers in the House of Lords. Our average age is 73. But one of my proudest achievements in my 18 years in Parliament is a year after I joined the House of Lords, I spearheaded the initiative to get the 2-year post-graduation work visa that came in 2008, taken away in 2012, and back again. And they tried to take it away again in May just now, but it's here to stay. And what I want to say is this. International students bring in £42 billion to the UK economy, so thank you for the money. But far more importantly, you enrich the experience of our domestic students, of our universities, of our country, and you become lifelong, generation-long ambassadors for the United Kingdom. And for that, I'm very grateful to you. At any time, as we speak, 25% roughly of world leaders have been educated at British universities, around 25% at American universities, and the other 50% is all the other countries in the world put together. That is the power of all of you as international students, and I think we should all thank you. Thank you very much. So finally, I conclude on a very serious note. You know, life is uncertain. Why is it that horrible things happen and we don't predict them? These black swan events, if you want to call them that. Who predicted 9/11 when it happened in 2001 that changed the world? Who predicted the financial crisis in 2008, 2009? Yesterday I was at the London School of Economics. In 2009, the Queen went to the LSE to open a new building, and she asked all those famous economics professors, why didn't any of you see it coming? Less than 5 economists in the world foresaw the financial crisis in 2008, 2009. How many people predicted the pandemic, the biggest global crisis since the Second World War, in the way that it happened? Nobody. I asked one of my peers of Russian origin, is Putin going to invade Ukraine? She said, never. The next day he invaded. How many people predicted that would happen? I went on a parliamentary visit to Israel in May last year, and I spent a whole day on the Gaza border, going into the Kerem Shalom crossing, virtually into Gaza. Not one of us felt unsafe or insecure. Not one of us would have predicted the horrors that took place on October the 7th and since. So these crises come out of the blue. You can't predict them. It's how you deal with them. And the 3 times I've nearly lost my business, 3 things have stayed the same that have helped me to get through my crises. 1, having a strong and resilient brand. 2, the support of your team. And if you've got family, your family. My wife Heather, who's sitting here, 1 year after I started Cobra, without her support, I wouldn't be standing here talking to all of you. And finally, it is better to fail doing the right thing than to succeed doing the wrong thing. Always practice integrity. So strong brand, team and family support, and integrity, and you can get through any crisis. So now, I finish with reinforcing what the chairman said at the beginning. The learning doesn't stop here. In fact, the learning never stops. I've got all these honorary doctorates. I don't have the real thing. I'm actually doing a doctorate right now. I've completed my first year, and I can't wait to have a proper doctorate. So, as Mahatma Gandhi said, live as if you're going to die tomorrow. Learn as if you're going to live forever. And I wish you good luck. And I didn't say that flippantly. The best definition of luck is when determination meets opportunity. If you're not determined, you will not even see the opportunity. If you're determined, you will get that opportunity. You will get lucky. And finally, believe in yourselves. Because, as Mahatma Gandhi said, your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits form your character, and your character determines your destiny. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you.